sound of a bell ringing, followed by a massive explosion and crumbling rock. Energetic, excited voice. The bell for the second round hadn't even finished echoing, and Lin had already turned half the tournament battleground into his personal sandbox of destruction. Rocks and debris were everywhere. His opponent, this huge, muscle-bound guy squeezed into a spy suit that looked way too tight, decided he'd had enough of waiting. He charged, a human bulldozer aimed right at Lin. But Lin, he's like a shadow with a temper. He moved so fast it was almost a blur. A black blade, slick and dark, was suddenly in his hand, pulled from a sheath on his back. The sword danced, shadows clinging to it as it moved.
Swish, swish, swish!
3 precise, lightning-fast slices across the big guy's arm. They weren't deep, more like a warning. A very, very sharp warning. Lin didn't press the attack. Instead, he leaped back, landing gracefully on the other side of the crater he'd made earlier. He slammed his palms flat against the ground, the earth itself groaning in response. "Stone prison!" he yelled, his voice sharp and commanding. Instantly, jagged walls of rock shot up from the ground, encircling the spy suit guy. Then Lin clapped his hands together with a loud smack. The stone walls lurched inwards, grinding and scraping as they closed in, ready to crush the man trapped inside. It was over. Before the rocks could even touch him, the guy was screaming, his voice filled with panic. "I yield! I yield!" And just like that, the announcer's voice boomed over the chaos. "The winner is Lin!" Slight pause, tone shifts to slightly bored. But honestly, that wasn't even a good fight. It was an appetizer, a boring one. While Lin was busy looking disappointed on the battlefield, his friend Sinju was having a much better time up in the stands. Sinju, with his dark skin and cool locked hair, adjusted the dragon scale cloak on his shoulders. He was busy collecting his winnings. A guy handed him a hefty pouch of coins. "Thanks," Sinju said, a sly smirk playing on his lips. Betting on Lin was always a sure thing. A moment later, Lin trudged up the stairs from the arena, his spiky hair poking out from under his hoodie. He looked completely dejected. "That wasn't fun at all," he grumbled, kicking at a loose stone. Sinju clapped him on the shoulder, the heavy pouch of coins jingling. "Hey, you can always try again in the next round," he said, trying to cheer him up. "Besides, look on the bright side. At least we got paid." Lin's eyes lit up just a little. "Oh yeah? How much did we get?" But before Sinju could even open his mouth to answer, ding, ding, ding! The bell for the next match rang out, sharp and demanding. Man, these tournament organizers were relentless. Down in the arena, the next fight was already underway. It was a clash of black and white. A man with long, flowing white hair and a pristine white cloak was locked in combat with a younger guy. This kid had short, ragged black hair, pale skin. Honestly, he looked like a vampire who'd missed a few meals. The action was intense. The vampire-looking kid shot forward, delivering a brutal kick straight to the gut of the man in white. The older fighter just grunted, absorbing the blow. He didn't even stumble. Instead, he retaliated instantly. He spun, a blur of white fabric, and his leg whipped around, connecting with a sickening thwack against the younger man's neck. The kid went down hard, sprawling on the dusty ground. But he wasn't out. Thinking fast, he swept his leg out from the ground, trying to trip the white-haired man. It worked! The older fighter was caught off guard. His feet tangled. But his experience showed. Instead of crashing down, he twisted in midair, landing perfectly on one hand, poised like a scorpion ready to strike. The crowd roared, and even Lin leaned forward, finally looking interested. Now, this was a fight.